Yeah, this Pablo Torres story is crazy. I'm watching the full doc right now. It's about an hour long, but I'm sure you guys have seen what I saw already, right? Which is the idea that behind, actually, I'll just let Pablo explain it himself. So here's what Pablo said. Now, I do recommend you go watch the full episode, even if it's just a quarter of it. I'm about 35 minutes in. It's a really good watch, right? And it covers, it connects to Kawhi and other political stuff. But anyway, so as you see on the bottom here, the Pablo show shows that Kawhi Leonard signed a $28 million endorsement deal for a no-show job with a fraudulent tree planting company, right? Funded with $50 million from the Clippers owner, Steve Ballmer. We know how passionate Steve Ballmer is, right? And essentially, they're saying the sources told him it was to circumvent the salary cap, right? So Pablo Torres adds on here as he speaks. He says, our full episode, by the way, is a full-length documentary. See, he told you. He wants you to know. Go watch that. About how two Democratic politicians from Harvard are behind a $2.3 billion scheme centered around climate change. They had a key donor, the richest owner in sports, which is Steve Ballmer. They also hired Drake, Leo DiCaprio, Robert Downey Jr., and secretly Kawhi Leonard. Okay, so here's what I want to say before I get back to the basketball tip. I do find it funny that the way this is worded, I'm sure Pablo meant no harm, is like when you see schemes centered around climate change, you don't get an idea that them boys was doing wire fraud and stuff like that. It's not that it's climate change. And I know America, Pablo's not the problem here. I just want to point out that this doesn't mean that you should now say climate change is a hoax or whatever narrative ignorant people like to peddle around. I think that part's really important. Also, as far as Drake, Leo, and Robert Downey are concerned here, they were here as people that endorsed the company that I believe these two gentlemen, I actually show you their names, Joe Sandberg and Andre Cherney, were pretty, allegedly, shysty in what they were doing as far as the funds are concerned and defrauding people that invested and people that endorsed and tried to, lobby for a cleaner earth. Now back to Kawhi Leonard and Steve Ballmer. Let me be very careful what I'm about to say here. Do I think if this is all true, what's alleged, do I think it's okay? No. But I was thinking to myself, I know Kawhi wanted to be in LA. Why choose Lakers over the Clippers? I'm sure Kawhi had many reasons. But if I could make some additional bread doing an endorsement for a company that I don't have to actually endorse, I don't have to get out there and work the fields, I don't have to do nothing, and this passionate owner is willing to do anything, I'm not saying it's okay, guys. I'm not saying it's okay, but I understand. And also, it starts putting some things in a perspective. On that doc, they talk about how, you got to go watch it. Kawhi goes on Jimmy Fallon, and they talk about how, in the NBA, this is another point of contention people want to talk about. Are owners doing other things like this? You might see more stories coming out, right? Shout out to Sam Quinn here. There's penalties for this stuff. You know what I'm saying? 4.5 million first offense, 5.5 million second offense, and then you lose one first round pick and, the possibility of avoiding contracts that are involved. So, I'm not saying that, there's no, sort of penalty, but some people might be willing to take that risk. The NBA is a very interesting landscape as of now, right? Stars drive the game. So you want to go from being the lowly Clippers who no one cared about to being somewhat relevant, you might want to make moves like this. And now I really want to know if there are other things that other owners do to try to get these players more money in their pockets to beat the cap. I got to know. Great job, Pablo. Go watch that. I'm going to finish the rest of it. Wow.